Let me tell you something very, very important. It's very dangerous when you feel stuck in life or stuck in relationship or stuck in a career path. I define it as when you don't have options, when you are not able to take any action to improve or to grow or to move forward. But feeling stuck is when you wake up doing the same thing, repeating the same activities, or you have to live with someone without being able to choose that. It's dangerous because it releases a lot of hormones and neurotransmitters in your brain. Instead of being able to see the beauty of life, you just focus on the negative things. You just focus on how you're dying slowly and without really have any alternatives. For those they don't really know me, this is Dr. Malik Weld-Ali. I'm a physician by background, but I work with data and AI in healthcare. Personally, I am interested in career development and personal development. I really love to see growth everywhere, especially in people, because it could be difficult to change, but it's difficult because it's a mindset. So, if you are a prisoner, you don't have options but to live in a cell. But it's your choice and decision to be happy in that cell or to decide to enjoy it. There is no enjoyment in a jail or in a prison, but at least not dying second by second. So why I picked this topic is basically I've noticed a lot of people they are surviving without having options. They have done everything they could possibly do to improve their life, but there is nothing progressing. And they start to eat themselves up. They whether in career path, they could not find a job or they could not really move in a personal relationship. They feel they cannot really exit that relationship or at least fix it. There are a lot of types of being stuck, but they all end up into one point: stress, lost, confused, and some they could even express they would love to end their lives because of being stuck. I just feel it's very important for all of us, whoever feels stuck, just to listen to options, create options from nothing. Whatever is the case, there is always an option to sit down and consider options in your life. And I would love to hear from you if you have any cases, how we can find options. So to start with options, it needs from you to change your mindset. Rather than just to eliminate options, you create options. So let's assume that 22 years old, they are stuck in life because they could not really find a job and they wanted a specific job in their domain. But then let's take a step back. They're focused on a job. Maybe the market is asking for experience, or maybe they're asking for a specific certificate. The options we have, it's a case by case. But in this case, if the options are limited in one country, maybe in different countries. That's why we're saying it's a case by case, because every person has their own context. The context is very important because that's where we can create options. If traveling to another country is not possible, then we find alternatives within the country. If focusing on one career is limited because of the competition in the market, maybe we can shift it, hack the system a little bit to slowly and gradually enter that market. So if we go back to the same concept, the idea of being stuck is the issue. It's not you're not really in your career path right now, or you're not progressing your career path. Is the your mind is not able to find options, alternatives, which is very important to me as a physician. Is basically when your blood vessels they stop from flowing the blood, and that's where you're going to have a stroke because you are not moving forward. So it's very dangerous to lose your options. Creating options is very important. It starts with a mindset change. If you move from the mindset, if you decide to create options for yourself, you do analysis of these options. It's very important to be strategic. So part of my job is to find a strategy. For those they don't really know what's a strategy, we play a lot of games, and in games there is a lot of tactics. Tactics are the moves that you do to achieve a goal. Goals are part of a strategy. Strategy is acceleration to achieve your objectives and goals. So, changing your mind, finding options, defining your objectives, finding your tactics, all of that is part of your strategy. As a strategist, we do development of personal strategy. Where do you see your North Star? Where do you see yourself? We've been asked by HR that how do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years? This question is very important because if you cannot envision your life in the future, you're not going to be able to take the first step. I mean, if you're not able to find or envision which country do you want to live in, what car are you going to drive in 10 years, in what house are you going to sleep in, even your partner, if you cannot envision your partner, you're not going to be able to see them when you meet them because you don't really know what you don't know. Once you find your objectives and your targets and your North Star, it's very important to do a risk management. Risk is a small circle in a big bubble of uncertainties. The smaller the risk you have, the bad thing. It's a very bad sign. You should increase your risk circle in your uncertainties. So, uncertainty is the things that you don't really know, but they have a negative impact in your life. And a risk is the possible negative impact or effect in your life, but you're aware of them. We define risks into highly impactful and they could be urgent. So that's where you have to prioritize them and just make sure you avoid them. And before we start with how you handle risks, let's define them. High risk, low risk. There's a box you created. This is impact, this is urgency. Low impact, low urgency, don't worry about them. Keep them in your mind. High impact, low urgency, you schedule to solve them. High urgency, low impact. Again, you can think about them later, but they can come after the low urgency, low impact. But high urgency and high impact, these are the matters that you have to take care of them. How to define risks is an art, because if you have a bubble of uncertainties, things you don't really know, and you have a small circle of risks, that means that you're not aware of the things that you are going to encounter. It's very important to understand what you are going to encounter in relationship, in career, in your life journey, because life starts the moment you start to make decisions. When you're not able to make decisions, that's not your life. It's basically you are in a runway to start your life. You cannot really blame yourself for things and decisions people they made for you, whether it's a parent or at school, or if you've been in a situation like a prison. But it's your decision to be a prisoner. It's a different topic. We're going to talk about it later. But some people, they are in prison because they have not done anything wrong, but conditions, they put them in jail. And we're talking about that case. Going back, changing your mindset that you're going to create options. After the options, you have to put a strategy where you put your objective, the North Star, you identify your risks and priorities. Then there is a very important step to take. Any strategy that's not feasible, that you cannot really achieve, is a failure. And any strategy without the baby steps that you have to take is not a good strategy. So career development or personal development or feeling stuck, if you don't have the short term, day by day, daily basis activities or steps that you have to take to move forward in your strategy, you're going to be always feel stuck in your life. I wish I can talk more, but avoiding to create that philosophy, I want to remind you that feeling stuck is normal for everyone. Everyone in their life, they will feel stuck at a moment in their life. But the options that we have is very important that you set goals and next steps and roadmap. We call it a roadmap, which is how you're going to achieve something called milestone, a big achievement that you celebrate to encourage yourself to move forward. If I give you assignment that you remember that once in your life you felt stuck and you wish that you created options for yourself, or if you are right now feeling stuck, if you create a list of options, what options you want to have to be able to move forward and take the steps I created for you, from change your mind, options, to the roadmap. Draw it, because once you see it, you're going to be able to change it. It's not one thing. Strategy is a dynamic thing. And I want to end by having a statement. We do what we do because we want to earn more time. We go to work because we want to earn money, and we want to go to work because we want to learn skills. Both, they will guarantee future. Future is time. We want to earn more money so we can live longer. We want to be healthier so we live longer. We want to do a lot of things, but everything will be linked to one thing, which is time. Time is very important. And feeling stuck is always related to time. That's where you start to feel that time does not move and the time repeats itself. So whenever you want to build a strategy, think of time. And there is a strategy to how to hack the time. manipulate the time. Instead of the time becomes your enemy, it becomes your strongest weapon. Thank you very much for watching and looking forward to see you in another video. Thank you.